Well, what is up, everybody? In this video, we're going to be talking about part 2 of the promise of wisdom. I just talked about all that the previous session. I wanted to illustrate what I talked about with a parable, the parable of the 10 virgins found in Matthew 25. You know, we think of the parable of the 10 virgins. There's so many good things and principles and truths to be pulled and gleaned from in that passage. One that I think of is often hidden or overlooked, and it's that wisdom. In my opinion, what I'm seeing here is wisdom is the key ingredient found in the parable. Passage, of course, is very important, and I want more of anything for this to be on us, on our hearts. It's such an indispensable passage and parable coming right out of the context of Matthew 24 and Jesus answering the question of what are the signs of his coming, and he goes right into this. Out of the whole Bible, I believe that this is such a word, it's such a time for this word, for those who have ears to hear. And I pray that even now our eyes and ears will be open to see and hear and receive what God is saying and doing. You know, the stories of 10 virgins, 5 are wise, 5 are foolish. Many of us know the story. I'll run through it very quickly. They all went out to meet the bridegroom because the bridegroom was in the land. And as they went, they took their lamps and they took oil with them. The 5 wise had extra oil. The 5 foolish did not. But they all took their lamps. They all went out to meet him. The oil was something spectacular. It kept the lamps burning. It was their source of assurance that they would meet the bridegroom. Only 5 of them brought extra oil. The other 5 did not have extra oil. Well, sure enough, the bridegroom comes and they go to light their lamps. The 5 wise who had extra oil are able to light their lamps. The 5 foolish are not. The 5 foolish have to go back and get oil, and when they're gone, the bridegroom comes, and the 5 wise virgins go with the bridegroom, and the 5 foolish miss it because they didn't have enough oil. They didn't have that extra oil. So, of course, oil is getting that extra oil, bringing stored oil, cultivating intimacy with God, cultivating relationship with God is that extra oil, and finding God and being with him and being prepared and ready for when he comes. The bridegroom, of course, is Jesus Christ. The virgins are the church. And so that, of course, you'd think that is the main takeaway, the main ingredient. I would say wisdom is the main ingredient, because the 5 who had the extra oil, they spent time cultivating it. They spent time getting it and storing it, and then somehow brought all that oil with them to go out and meet the bridegroom. They had wisdom to do those things. They were called wise. They developed a spirit of wisdom that helped them make decisions to gain the oil. So gaining the oil, intimacy with God is one thing, but how do you get that? You get wisdom. Wisdom led them to bring more oil, to cultivate that history and that intimacy with God. So we need that. We need extra oil. We need to cultivate that. But wisdom in the knowledge of God helped them do that. John Piper says, watch, be vigilant, and do whatever you have to do in your ordinary life to stay attuned to the living God. How do you stay in the Word without falling asleep? You turn off the television and go to bed. I just like that quote because it's interesting, because at the end, Jesus says, here's the point, watch and pray. So John's saying, hey, here's what watch means. You stay attuned to the living God. You stay in his Word, and you make him a priority. You do things that you have to do. Now, I'll end this segment with though I believe wisdom is the key ingredient that leads to cultivating oil and bringing extra oil. Wisdom is not the protagonist, nor is oil. The protagonist of the story is Jesus Christ. It's the bridegroom. He's the protagonist. He's the one that you cultivate oil for and with in the first place. He's the reason you bring it. He's the reason you have it. He's the reason you go out. It's all about Jesus. And so we'll end there. Bless you.